Latifah, and you're watching ZTV on the Higher Learning Network. Yeah, right.
Talk Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network. Call 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness sessions on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit zeldaspeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
Grand Rising. And thank you so much for joining me here this morning. I'm your host, Zelda Speaks. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. We're just here to start your week off on a grand positive note, because that's what we do here at the Female Solution on the Higher Learning Network TV show, which airs Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1, 24/7 on the World Wide Web on Higher Learning TV show. How about that? It is Monday. And it is the 29th. Happy birthday, born day, if it's your birthday. Belated happy birthday to my niece, or Nita, we call her Nita Bradley. She just had a birthday just this past Saturday, the 26th, and I got a chance to speak with her while I was on the Amtrak train. Well, I wasn't on the train, I was at a stop. And You just have no idea what people are going through. I had no idea that she is as sick as she is, but I'm always hopeful. And I hope you're always hopeful for your loved ones who are experiencing some health challenges. So let us keep in mind the sick and the shut in and the non believers, those who have given up hope. We send them love, light, and energy this morning that they will become whole as they were born because the body heals itself. You know, we listen to the medical profession, which has told us a whole lot of untruths that we are realizing as we become older and wiser. So you might want to keep that in mind as you make decisions as it relates to your health. Also, let us keep in prayer the sick and the shut in. The sick and the shut in are people who usually feel like they're lost and they're forgotten. So I'm just asking you in your daily meditation to keep the sick and the shut in prayer. If you're listening online, we'd love to have your conversation coming up. We got a hot show today. Why is America spending billions on war? And just found out how the money is circulated. Oh my goodness. And not spending anything on the unhoused or homeless, as we used to call it. This is going to be an interesting show. So you need to text somebody and tell them to tune in right now. If you're watching online, we're on my Facebook channel, Zelda Speaks, and the Higher Learning TV show. And be sure and check out our blog. I'll pull that up for you later to see it. But if you're headed out and about today, it's going to be in the 70s. And we expect a little rain, so you might want to carry your umbrella with you. But it's going to be a muggy day. I was so exhausted from traveling on Amtrak. You don't really travel on the train. Travel on the train. You see, I'm still discombobulated. Release that. I went to Houston, Texas to help a girlfriend who is also in need of prayer. So please keep my girlfriend Cheryl in your prayer. Just do a breath and healing is taking place. Healing is taking place all over the world, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, it's taking place. So we give thanks for your prayers for those who I have put on the altar this morning. If you're traveling out and about, just expect rain. Grab my umbrella. It's crazy on the expressways like it always is. And today's traffic and weather is sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. If you are a business owner or entrepreneur, this is where you need to be. Because anything that you can think of buying at big box stores, Kmart, Walmart, Target, any other store you can think of, iTex has it. And all you have to do to get it and get $100 to go shopping immediately as an entrepreneur or business owner, you got products or services, mention the promo code ZELDA, ZELDA. You get $100 to go shopping, courtesy of me, just for signing up. And if excuse me, if you are on the switchboard this morning and you can't see that, the website address is chicago.itex.com. I have to remember that. For those who are on the switchboard, I have to raise my volume just a little bit. So just want to share that with you. No reported delays on Metro or CTA. But inbound on the Kennedy, it's a whole other story. 34 minutes inbound, 21 on the reverse. On the Edens, 29 in, 19 out. On your Eisenhower, your usual delays, 34 minutes in, 29 out. On the Stevenson, it's 24 minutes in, 19 out. And on the Dan Ryan, it is 19 minutes in and 14 out. And the Bishop Ford, it's 7. Can you reach? Let's say you can't even reach on in right now. 17 minutes in, 11 minutes out. And Do Sabo Lakeshore Drive, where my big brother Patrick Bradley fixed the S curve because he was an engineer at ComEd. I just love telling that story because that's history. It's not Black history. That's history. That's his story. And he has the story to do what he did. So I just had to share that with you. But on DuSable Lakeshore Drive, it is 11 minutes in and 10 minutes out. And that's your traffic and weather, sponsored by Karen Kelly of iText.com. Remember to go with that $100 bonus and sign on with the promo code ZELDA, Z-E-L-D-A. Always giving thanks to the ancestors, those who came before me to make my way possible. Jackie Hasserig, Yvonne Daniels, Herb, Kent the Cool Gent. Who else am I forgetting, Tony? As long as I got Herb, that's all that matters, right? Herbie, baby. Y'all know y'all miss Herb just like I do. Anyway, that's traffic and weather, sponsored by the greatest and the latest. Oh, and if you're a diabetic, you might want to head on over to diabeticdonut.com. That's where you can get your free download of how I reverse type 2 diabetes. That's diabeticdonut.com. And if you were to have any problem, just go to higherlearningnetwork.org, go scroll to the bottom, send me your information, and I'll send it to you personally. You know, these computers, you saw what happened last week, right? Everything shut down. And let me tell you a little story here. I said, because I knew she needed me, I always follow who she's, Elder, like you in my head, right? I knew my girlfriend needed me because she requires 24-hour assistance. And I went down there for a week. And I know that the airplane would get me there in a few hours. But no, I had to take a few days because I went via Amtrak, and I loved it because I've been loving riding a train since I was a little bitty girl. And it's just a time to reflect and breathe and be appreciative, be thankful, be grateful. And I just had a good time. But I said all that to say this. Sometimes the quickest way is not always the best way. What do you think, Tony? Sometimes the slow route, like the turtle, is the best way. You still can't find your phone. Oh, okay. If you are one of those who like to set the DVRs, I haven't set I don't even have a DVR. Set your DVR for the Higher Learning Network TV show, Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1, channel 19, and 24/7 on our YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV show. And now it is time for your Monday morning mindfulness meditation. But before I do that, let me give you the word for the day, which is from my brother Mike House, fellow journalist. Speaking of journalists, I forgot to mention, how did I forget that? We have the president of the National Association, Brandon Pope, will be joining us, the president of the National Association of Black Journalists, in which I was a member of some years ago. Not now. I was president of the Chicago Association of Black Journalists, of the print. I digress. I go there sometime. Anyway, Monday, July 29th, I am peaceful and living peacefully in the now. Because, our mind wanders and we have a tendency to go forward and backwards. But we have a difficulty staying right here, don't we? If you have difficulty staying right here sometime, let me know. Just put it in the chat box. It says surrender your emotional attachment today to stories about yourself that you have outgrown. Wow. These old stories are background noise that you no longer need. Yes. Keep the highlights from those stories. Keep the memories of your growth and your overcoming moments. Let the noise go through. Remember, the more you let go of what disturbs your peace, the more peace you have. My spirit is peaceful. My meditation practice skills, the background noise. My meditation practice stills the background noise. That's why we're about to do it in just a moment. And I am empty of the old stories and today's concerns. A profound sense of love and light enters. I like that. A profound sense of love and light enters. It is so delicious to my soul. It repeatedly draws me back to my truest nature, that of peace. I am peace. I am peaceful. I am empty of noise and full of peace. Let's say that together. I am empty of noise and full of peace. Thank you, understanding in me, through me, as me, around me, through the Christ within. And so it is. And so it is. These things I have said to you, that in me you may have peace. And that's St. John 16:33. If that resonates with you this morning, type it in and let me know you enjoyed it. Just say yes. Type it in. Just say yes. It certainly resonated with me. But what I really hope will resonate with you this morning is this practice that we're about to experience. It's just breathing. Just plain old breathing. We ain't doing nothing spectacular. We're just having a good time breathing this morning. Zelda, why you spend so much time on breathing? Because most of us don't know that this is the secret to your power-based mind. See, they keep us programmed in this thing right here. You'll be scrolling and you'll be looking and you look up 2-3 hours gone. It's like, what? I've been on here for 3 hours? Are you serious? I know. I'm one of them. You are not alone. So, from time to time, as we breathe in and breathe out, you're going to hear this noise. Sorry. You're going to hear that noise. See, I'm a little heavy-handed. I'm sorry. You're going to hear that noise. And that noise is simply a distraction to bring you back into the now moment, because your mind is wondering, when is she going to be through breathing? I got things to do. I got to fix the kids' breakfast. I got to fix me breakfast. I got to fix us breakfast. I got to do this, that, and the other. I got to wash. I got to catch the bus on. Blah, 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 blah. Forget all that. Because nothing is important than your inhaling and exhaling right here, right now. And all we're doing is breathing in through the nose and breathing out. That's all we're doing. I'm not going to even count, because I realize that as I talk, I lose a little momentum. So I want you to stay focused on the breathing and not breathing with me. And when you breathe in and breathe out, it gives you the opportunity to connect with the power that is within you, that you can hear. That you can hear when all of the distractions are taken away. You feel me? All right, so let's get started. First of all, let us become centered. Sitting in a chair, or if you're lying in the bed, whatever you do, just move. Get that body moving. Yes, move, move, move. So let's stretch. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's stretch. And I got a high back chair here, so I grab the back of it and twist that body. Twist body. Twist body. I want to get thin, wake up the organs in the morning, because they've been asleep all night just like you have. And simply twist in. Oh, that feels good. And twist out. You see, because I have been watching a lot of YouTube on self-care. Been reading a lot. And I realized the moment that we wake up in the morning, our organs are waking up too. That's why we start the tapping process. Because we're cleaning, we're waking up the lymphatic system. Oh, Doris of the jungle, what's up for the tree? Yeah, Zelda had a little bit too much coffee this morning. No, she don't drink coffee. She drink tea. That's just waking the energy up. So what we're doing is tapping. And this may be new to you. And if it's not, share it with someone. Because you see this little fat right here in your bra? You don't need to see that. If you're a woman, you got it. You know, I don't care how thin you are, you still have that little piece of meat right there between your bra strap and your bra. Give it some love too, because they are discovering that women who have breast cancer usually have blocked lymph nodes. So we always want to pat just to wake up the system, just to wake it up, because it's been asleep all night just like you. So we breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. Oh, that feels good. See, if you breathe deep enough, you'll get the sensation. You're not going to get it this way. You got to breathe in deeply through the nose, and breathe out. And as you breathe out, you'll feel that calming effect. That's why you got to take a long, deep inhale deeply. Hold it. And breathe out. Ooh, that feels good. Now rotate those shoulders backwards and forwards and see how good it feels. And then stretch and breathe. Stretch and breathe. As you breathe in, giving thanks for the power of the breath. Bring that breath all the way to the top of the head as we love upon that head. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Hold it. And allow the breath to come down through the forehead and the nose and the chin and the neck and the shoulders, and just feel the love that you are giving your body and you are forgiving yourself. As we breathe in, hold it, and as we breathe out, we give thanks that we are always at the right place at the right time doing the right thing. And as you breathe in, should not be looking at me, but the inside of your eyelids is what you should see as you breathe in. Bringing all the energy up from the face, down through the forehead, and landing on the shoulders as we blow it out. Breathe in. Sending more love, light, and energy down through the solar plexus and the sides where we do the higher learning hip roll, because we sit at computers at a desk all day. And as seniors, we really sit. We don't move. And you got to keep moving. 88-year-old lady at the gym told me a body in motion stays in motion. So we want to keep those hip movements as we breathe in. And as we breathe out, sending love, light, and energy down through the thighs. Oh, yes, those glorious thighs and those glorious knees. They feel good this morning, baby, because I've had my gummies. Yes, I have. And they keep me pain-free. And if you haven't had them, we'll tell you just a little bit about it. Y'all go to my blog. You'll see the information. Yeah. And it's watermelon. I love that watermelon. Okay. Going to pick up some watermelons today from Camille. Anyway, I digress. You know, I just love me some. Breathing in and breathing out. Sending love, light, and energy down through the knees that don't hurt anymore. I give thanks for pain relief as we breathe in. And as we breathe out, sending more love, light, and energy down through the toes, through the ankles, through the arches, and the instep. Oh, they are just loving this. They are just eating the atoms in your body, and the cells are saying, yes, bring it on, sister, bring it on. We are just loving all this energy that you're giving us as we breathe in. Wheeling those toes, feeling that energy flow back up through the ankles and the arches and the instep and the ankles and the legs. We're sending love, light, and healing energy all throughout the body, and especially those knees. Because some of y'all have knee issues like I have knee issues, and that's the pain just telling you to work on them, walk on them, honey. Dick Gregory said before he left the planet, he said, your leg hurt, child, walk on it. And I thought he was crazy until I did what he said, because this knee, this right knee, where they want to give you that shoot you with that needle with that stem cell treatment, I ain't having it. $5,000 and then it don't work next month. Nah, I don't think so. Inhale deeply. I'll stick to my gummies. Thank you very much. They working. You do you, I do me. As we inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. Bringing the energy of the breath back up through the hips and the buttocks and the back as we continue moving and breathing in and breathing out with the higher learning hip roll as we breathe in. And as we exhale, as we breathe in, bringing the power of the breath back up through the solar plexus and back up through the shoulders, where we rotate them again and again and again as we breathe in, bringing the energy back up through the face and the forehead, and we just stretch and give thanks for the power of mobility, because somebody somewhere can't move like you. Okay. And look at you doing your thing, just moving and shaking. You have been blessed with a mobile body. Breathe on that. As we breathe in, giving thanks for the power of the breath that teaches us self-mastery. When we master the breath, we can master our reactions towards others who are not in agreement with us. That's why we breathe in, hold it, and exhale. And this is something that you can try on your own. And I apologize, I was so wrapped up in my breathing, I forgot to do my lemongrass. I got lemongrass this morning. Little essential oil, it helps with everything. So it just depends on what you want. And it's not too late to use it, because all you have to do is pick it up, put it in the palm of your hand, just one little drop, because it's powerful, and breathe in. Lemongrass. What is it for, Zelda? Don't believe me, don't believe nothing I say. Go look it up. Lemongrass essential oils. See, you got to do some of the work. I can't do all of the work for you. But anyway, breathe in. And exhale. Mighty, 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 mighty. Thank you. As we breathe in. As we breathe in faith. Whatever's going on in your life, it came to teach you for a reason. And we exhale fear. Inhale faith. And exhale fear. Inhale faith. And exhale fear. As you breathe in and breathe out, giving thanks for the power of the breath, we move forward in our day knowing that all is well despite appearances. So let's take this last deep inhale deeply. Bring your forehead down, chin to chest, and slowly rotate that head to the left, around to the back, and around to the right. Slow down, you're moving too fast. And around to the front. Head up, inhale deeply. Look to the right as far as you possibly can, feeling a stretch in the left side of the neck. And head back. Oh, and I feel a little something here. Let's inhale. Look to the right, to the left as far as you possibly can. Feel a stretch over here. Oh, yeah, that feels good. And look back. How about this? Let's bring it all the way around. And then all the way around again. Inhale deeply. And just sit with that breath, giving thanks for the power of the breath, because someone somewhere is unable to breathe on their own. And look at you, breathing all on your own. And we give thanks that we're always at the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing. As we breathe in faith, we exhale fear. And this is what we do. We meditate to activate. We meditate to activate. We breathe in faith and exhale fear. We inhale love and exhale hate. And those are just a few of the t-shirts that we offer on Monday Morning Mindfulness to help us help those in need. And what are those people in need? Those are the people that we help every single day. We go out there every week, but we help every single day because we're always asking for help. We cannot do this alone. This is a community effort, and we seek your effort. And if you would like to be a part of this venture, you simply join us by helping us raise funds for the homeless, the unhoused. Sorry, I'm still working on that, y'all. A fan of the Higher Learning Network, of the work that we do, feel free to send in your donations to help the unhoused because we feed them. We'll be going out there later today. And even though they're gone, some people are always hanging around, and that I have learned. So if you would like to participate, we would love to have you participate as well. And you can send those donations to higherlearningnetwork.org. But right now, we're going to take our break. And if you want to call in, you can do that too at 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. And you can also call in at 727-731-5192. All righty, you stay close and we'll be right back with the number one international unhoused advocate, and that's Galen Tyler. So stay close and we will be right back.
And a special hello to Jody Tucson of Tucson Essentials.
Yes, hi, Jerry. Yes, I found the energizers or with the microphones back at FedEx, and I can charge the seat cord once I've been took away, and now they're getting married. So it's been great to work. So thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Now I'm full too. Thinking about a cord. I bought a whole battery.
All right now. I like the trees, girl. Hey there.
Hey. Well, hi, I'm Naima Latif, and we are donating to the Higher Learning Homeless Project because we know that people who are living outdoors, they need a way to eat, even though they might not have conveniences. So these are individual flameless ration heater ready meal packs, and they're self-heating emergency meals. All you have to do is just remove the pack and remove the paperless sleeve and tear it open and
Add water.
And it will heat itself and you have a tasty meal. So we want people to be able to have a great meal, and all they need is water, and of course we provide that. So,
And she has a whole box of it right here. So thank you, Naima.
yeah. All right, and thank you for all you do. We appreciate you so very much for helping our unhoused community.
Okay, seems like the switchboard is stuck this morning. It does not want to play. It is okay. Yeah, just bear with me for a second. Here we go. Naima, I don't know what's going on with the switchboard, but we cannot hear it. And that is causing a delay. But in the meantime, in between time while she works that, how about?
Hi, my name is Terry Cummings, and you're watching the Higher Learning TV show.
Well, all right. I am now prospered in expected and in unexpected ways. I am now prospered in expected and in unexpected ways. I give thanks for all that I have and for all that I share.
abundance is mine.
And Denise, before you go, please go. I don't know if you knew this or not, but I reversed type 2 diabetes. Is yours type 2 or type 1 that you've just been diagnosed with?
Type 2.
Type 2. Perfect. Because that's what I had, type 2. And I reversed it it took about 6 months. It depends on how persistent you are with it, but I did it. And there's a free download for you, which consists of the drink that I drink every morning. And just remember, you are not drinking for taste, my dear. You are drinking for nutrition and health. And let me tell you what the 7 ingredients are: apple, beet, cucumber, lemon, ginger, kale, and turmeric. It does not sound appetizing, but baby, it does body good. Okay. And that recipe is free to you. And anyone else who wants to go and download it at diabeticdonut.com. That's diabeticdonut.com. And there's also a Facebook page with that name as well, Diabetic Donut ABC. So please, I just ask that those who go and download the free ebook on how I reverse type 2 diabetes to please like and subscribe and share the Facebook page, Diabetic Donut ABC. And Grand Rising, and we are back here. Yes, that is free for you. Go to diabeticdonut.com. But as we continue with the show, I am honored to be amongst the company of those who are serious about the issues that are facing us on this planet in America. Now, I just want to tell you a little bit about our guest. His name is Galen Tyler. He is a nationally and internationally recognized anti-poverty and human rights advocate. Originally from Virginia, Tyler is a veteran of the U.S. Army, has been a homeless father, and gained notoriety with Kensington Welfare Rights Union and the Poor People's Economic Human Rights campaign, while moving homeless families into abandoned government-owned houses in order to survive. He has traveled internationally to meet with poor people's movements and has appeared in numerous documentary films appeared that highlight his work. Y'all know I can't see this little bitty hand right. Tyler was most recently instrumental in launching the Poor People's Army, which is building a nonviolent force outside the nonprofit industrial complex to challenge corporate power. Thank you. And complex to challenge corporate power and to reclaim the basic necessities for life for the poor and working people, because they don't care nothing about y'all. His information is extensive, but I just wanted to give you some insight, and that all of this information, that's just a little of it. All of that information will be on our blog on Higher Learning TV show. But right now, I'm going to bring the man to you himself. Welcome to the welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, Galen Tyler. We appreciate you. A hard-working man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be on your show.
We're honored to have you here, because if it were not for people like you, need I say more? Because this is a group, this is a community effort. We cannot do it alone. Talk to myself. We cannot do it alone. How did you ever get people involved? Well, I read a little bit about you, but I just want you to share more about your background, because when I saw that you were homeless, I was like, oh yeah, he's serious. He's very serious. He ain't out here just shucking and jabbing like some of the politicians. Go ahead, baby. Tell us a story.
Yeah, absolutely. I had some hardship and ended up getting foreclosed on my house. And my wife and my kids, we became homeless. And that was like, it was kind of like something I thought it was my fault. Because growing up, I always thought that, homeless people were people that were like Vietnam vets, people that had drug and alcohol problems, people with mental health issues. That's the homelessness that I saw that they always kept presenting on TV. And when I got with the Kensington Welfare Rights Union, I found out that, you know, 2/3 of the homeless population was women and children. You know what I mean? Most of them due to no fault of their own, whether it was domestic violence, whether it was, having loved ones being deported, to having healthcare crisis. It was just so many when I was sitting around the table, and I was like, it's much bigger than just us as individuals. And that's when I kind of really truly got involved to figure out not just how to, figure out housing for myself, but try to figure out a plan and a place where my kids and my grandkids wouldn't have to go through the same thing I went through.
Wow, I love that you were concerned about others as well as yourself. Because most of us have to just have the me attitude. We don't really care about what other people think, or how they're living. So I applaud you for that. And did you ever feel when you were out there that you were alone?
No, not really. You know what I mean? What I really truly felt, it was like, a letdown. I just felt like I was letting myself and my family, down just based on, all the different things that they show on TV, what success is. Nice car, nice house, strong education, a good job, lots of money, vacationing, all that stuff. So when you look at like what success is all day, every day, and you're not seeing that, you see yourself as like a failure.
See yourself as a failure. So what did you do mentally to help? Because there was so much mental illness, not only in the unhoused community, but all over the world.
Oh, absolutely. And I was blessed to have elders around me,
Ah,
that kind of like was giving me insight and understanding, the different changes in society, that's never taught to you inside school and stuff. They don't never let you know anything about like when new tools are introduced into society, kind of changes the economic situation. It changes the nature and the power. Because when you think back, throughout history, we went from a lot of different societies. And when it was like hunting and gathering, nobody owned the trees, nobody owned none of the plants, nobody owned the water, none of that stuff. And then once it kind of started moving towards agriculture, and then mechanical, all these different societies with new tools being introduced, it still kind of needed manpower. But now we have new tools that are introduced in society today where you don't need manpower no more. And so we're looking at a whole group of people that are going to be permanently unemployed with electronics and robots today and computers. And so we're trying to look into the future in relationship to not keep fighting for the scraps and crumbs that we know are going to disappear. How do we fight for something where it's a cooperative, society where people are able to live with their basic necessities met and able to like strive and not just barely survive?
That is major because most of us are in just survival mode, whether you're on the street or not. Many of us are still in survival mode.
Absolutely. The majority of the people, in this country are like a paycheck away from becoming homeless.
Yes,
Or
sir.
becoming unhoused.
Yes.
To be, speaking politically correct, and, one of the things that, we try to do with the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign, and we just got a new AKA, the Poor People's Army, just because of trying to make sure people understand who we are. Because when we use like the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign, people are able to use the name, divert resources, take on our platform, say some of the same things we say, but they're getting money from the direct enemy that's holding and oppressing us. And so we changed our name, just here recently, because we know that's not sexy to their funders, Poor People's Army. And and we're thinking it's a war on the poor and the working class in this country, and we need to build our own nonviolent army. It's going to be able to counter that. We see that like uniting people, regardless of where they're from, their religion, geographical location, sexual preference. We think that people should unite based on what we have in common, and we all need food. We all need clothing. We all need housing. We all need education. We all need the way to be able to provide for ourselves and our family without restrictions and limitations. And I don't care who you are, you need those things. And so we trying to, cross color lines and get people to unite, based on what we have in common. And the way we do that, we do a lot of projects of survival. Some people like to call it mutual aid now since COVID, but we've been doing project survival, since the early 90s. The late 80s, early 90s, in relationship to ensuring that we try to keep people alive, not freezing, during the wintertime, not getting heat exhaustion during the summertime. So we've been trying to figure out by any means necessary, to ensure that people are able to not just, survive, but be able to be soldiers in the army and in this army, fighting for economic human rights.
Project survival. I've never heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
So how does one become associated with project survival?
Well, basically, we have a number of different ways. Our office hours, we always open to solve any problem under the sun. You come in, we'll try to figure out how to network and solve those problems. But on a regular basis, we give out food, clothing. We deliver food, every 2 days. Anybody that calls us, asking for food within 48 hours, we're gonna get some food out to you.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And, that's something that we've been doing for a long time. And, a lot of people get funding for this. But, the one thing with us is that we don't take any corporate funding. We don't take any money from the city just because we have our own mind, our own direction. And we think the leadership of the poor, people that are being directly affected by these issues, should be in the forefront. It wouldn't be right if we was having a women's suffrage movement, it was all men at the front talking about how we're going to make it better for women, so we think that people that are at the bottom, that have been beat down and oppressed by the system and been able to survive, might have some good insight and some good common sense in relationship to what's good for them versus the top down.
Okay. Now, I understand the part about not taking corporate sponsorship because it's the corporations that keep us in bondage. I get that. What I don't understand, and I may not be the only person, so I need you to explain this. If the cities are allotted funding for certain population in society, specifically the unhoused, why is it an issue to take those funds?
Because, it's not something that, we just came up with from the beginning. This is based on our experience and our 30 years being around. When we've been working in the community, whether it was around trying to build the Philadelphia Affordable Housing Coalition, trying to big out, take back the land, all these different, land trusts, building all these different entities for the city. Pretty much, the people who was working, day and night to fight, to build these different entities, it was all good. It was all written up nice. But at the end of the day, it always had this small little clauses, councilmatic prerogative. So meaning that city council members at the end of the day get to say exactly what's going to happen, whether they want affordable housing coming in that community or not. And so what they were going to do with the abandoned buildings, what they were going to do with the land. So it didn't matter what the people in the community said and wanted to do. At the end of the day, they either have people that are on their team that's taking care of I, me, making sure that their office is set up with their 3 staff members and paying their rent, paying their mortgage, paying their car note and all that stuff while, they're getting paid off the backs of other poor and homeless families. So we don't take the city's money unless it has no strings attached to it whatsoever. It was lots of different money that came out in relationship to the opiate crisis that's happening here in the city. And we filled out a grant, from the city. We didn't get it, but we did try to get, that type of money, just based on the community where we work at. It's drugs is affecting every every third household.
Oh, wow. And you're in Chicago.
No, in Philadelphia.
You're in Philadelphia. Okay, I didn't know because I met Rick and he's in Chicago. So thanks, Rick, for the hookup, as the children say. I don't know. I just thought you were in Chicago because he talks so highly of you. I had no idea, but I should have known that there would be attachments uh, to who, what, when, and where, and how you do what you do. And I
Yeah.
understand that as someone, I've been a volunteer for over 33 years or something like that. And I see the politics. And I saw something last night that just blew me away. And I didn't have a chance to do my research because I had an emergency, but it talked about how the money that is allotted for wars
Mhm.
actually goes in the pockets of the politicians because it's a circular thing. And I was like, what? Obama, Bush, Clinton?
Yes. The war machine has always been money, whether it's
It's
the
the given.
Democrats or
It,
the Republicans.
yeah,
It doesn't matter. It's the same, it's the same people trying to figure out how we, pretty much have like this competitive experience. Like it's just like in a neighborhood where I'm playing basketball, like you're competitive, but at the end of the day, you shake hands, you're all friends. But to the outside, people seeing you playing basketball hard against each other, stuff like that, they would think you would be enemies or everything. But they're all from the same people. And one of the things that we trying to get people to understand is that, the people that we're looking for, to bring about real concrete changes, it's not the Obamas, it's not going to be the Kamalas, it's not going to be the Trumps, whoever. It's ourselves.
thank you.
It's
We
right
are the ones we've been waiting for. They're not coming to save us, honey. They're
there.
coming to save,
Absolutely.
they put some money in their pockets. And
And and as much as we study and much as we try to catch up, they still so far and ahead in relationship with the knowledge and the information because they hold it and release it when they want to. So the only thing that we know that is never going to change is that the unity, the masses of the people, can rise up against any oppressor. And so that's where we've been working for the last 30 years is trying to, a lot of people, they say, the new term woke or whatever, it's not about being woke. It's about having ways and actions, that are being moving towards trying to liberate your brothers, your sister, and coming up with a way where we get rid of the system that's been oppressing not just one section of the population, but so many different sections of the population. And if we don't figure out how to stop these nonprofit industrial complexes that are taking resources to be able to say it ain't no resources, it's a shame.
I am simply blown away at the corruption that exists in the homeless, unhoused sector. I had no idea. And let me tell you, Philadelphia was the when I began to do my research. Well, let me back up just a little bit. 2019, February 2019, my little brother Douglas Robinson was murdered in Tent City, which is the location that we usually go. One of the locations that we go to. And all of these people showed up at his funeral, all of these unhoused people, and it was just overwhelming. And they asked me when they were there, please don't stop coming and sharing your groceries because he's no longer with them. So I gave them my word that I would, and we continued to do so. But in doing the research on the unhoused population, I became aware of the statistics in each city. And the first city that was on the map was Philadelphia. So I go and look at these Philadelphia videos, and I am in shock at what I see of people standing on the street looking like zombies. And I was like, this can't be real. And my mind is going, this is real. And the question is, what are you going to do about it? And I'm like, oh God, I got to go and regroup. We got to get a whole lot of help because this is a national, international epidemic.
Absolutely. And here in Philadelphia, you know, like we have like, one of the worst open air markets, to be able to use drugs with with the police presence all day, every day. It's not like the police isn't around. The police is like right there on the exact same block that you see these zombie walking,
Right.
individuals. And so we've been trying to figure out, like, we work real closely with different recovery programs. When people are unhoused and have drug issues, we try to link them up with the recovery program we work with, and being able to, move people away from, they put all these traps out there, instead of trying to figure out how to, make sure that people have the basic necessities. They put all these barriers and traps out there and make you go through all these hoops and stuff like that, just to be able to deny or hope you give up, on yourself, on life, on your kids. And so they can either take them. DHS is the Department of Human Service is a big money maker right here in the state of Pennsylvania.
Every city.
They're just fast tracking kids, out. They rather pay someone, 750, per child to someone else, versus to giving the mother affordable housing so she can have her own kids.
Right.
And so it's just mind blowing how the system is set up. And if we was in charge, people that are being directly affected by these different issues, we wouldn't set it up, so you could give away 3 times as much money, to someone else to watch my kids, versus
Right.
to giving me something to be able to take care of my kids myself.
Thank you. You are right on track. Let's take some comments. Naima Latif, who's the executive producer of the Female Solution, says, I love that concept. We fight this current system by creating a new one based on cooperation and sharing. How can we continue this process by doing that? We are doing that.
Well, and one thing we try to practice every day is like the politics of love. A lot of people, want to deal with a lot of different identity issues and stuff like that. But we also, as we working and organizing and dealing with practical things all day, every day, we also understand it's a spirit, it's an energy, that flows through all of us. And we look at people based on that. We're not looking at person. Some people might see a body or whatever, but we see another living human, energy that's here to being able to bring prosperity, to this country. Not the way they have us set up, trying to say, oh, you black, you're white, you're gay, you're straight, you trans, you this and that, and set us all up to be fighting, for the crumbs, when we can all work together and get the whole cake.
Amen. Say that the whole cake, not a slice, but the whole cake. And we have been so conditioned to fight for the crumbs, because that's the way the system has been set up, and that's the way the system has been working. But until Iyanla Vanzant says, not until today.
Exactly.
Because today we are doing something different. We're not just talking about it. We want to be about it. And for those who come and go and cannot be part of this, or information that will be available after the show, I always pull up our blog, which is on Tumblr, tumblr.com, Higher Learning TV show, and you'll see the HLN Daily News there. The president of NABJ will be joining us shortly, but you can see right here, this is our piece talking about you this morning. And there's just all, there's some information on the unhoused down there as well. And that's something I really wanted to talk about as 10 cities are cleared, unhoused residents ask why it took the DNC so long to offer housing in the city of Chicago. The DNC had to come to the city of Chicago for us to make a move to help the unhoused. I just find that, what do you think? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I'll just back up and say, since 2000, we have been marching on opening day of the Republican and the Democratic National Convention.
Oh.
So, because we don't, people be like we're marching is old, that's not been working or anything like that. That's what they did in the 60s and the 70s.
Uh-huh.
But we march, not to be thinking that the Democrats or the Republicans are going to just come out and say, yeah, y'all right, we're going to meet all your demands. We do it to build relationships. And that's what we see is going to be the way that we, when we take march through different cities, neighborhoods. We're able to link up with different people that want to come out and organize. They're doing some of the same work that we're doing. And, we don't know about each other because mainstream media will never talk about the work that we're doing in relationship to trying to build a better society. They
Yeah.
only do show, in the community, all the different ills and the devastation that the people are going through and make you scared, have fear, and have you think about I, me. But we know when we talk about economic human rights for all, that includes everyone. We're not trying to, divide it up. We know that if people have their basic necessities, then we can start talking about our differences. But if we just constantly talk about our differences, we'll never be able to unite and put it into our oppressor and this current system, that's been spreading ills throughout communities, since its conception.
Right. Wow, that's a excellent strategy. I love that, and I never even thought about that. Yeah, it is a time to get together and connect because Main Street it was not designed for us to connect. I tell people all the time, and sometimes people look at me, side-eyed. I said, if you don't believe that you are being programmed since birth, from sun up to sundown, go to Google and type in the Mockingbird report. And it shows where the CIA, FBI, and other organizations were developed to keep us in a mental state bondage. Oh, we have a guest there. Good Grand Rising.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Sister Sylvia.
All right, Sister Sylvia, thank you for stopping by this morning. But I said I had no idea there was so much effort to keep us in a place we don't want to be longer than we want to be there. So when we come back, we're going to take some calls. 727-731-5192. If you're on the Blog Talk switchboard, 515-605-9325, press 1 to speak, and we'll be back. And I guess Naima's going to run the board because of what I'm pushing up here is not coming through, Naima. I don't know what's with the switchboard. So maybe you can figure that out while I run commercial here. 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. And if you have any questions for our guests, feel free to type them in if you need to. Or you can call in on Blog Talk 515-605-9325 and we'll be back.
And you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network. Yeah, right.
Hi, I'm Brandon. Hi, I'm Akil. And you're watching the Betty Shabazz podcast training on the Higher Learning Network. Yeah.
Attention all talented teens ages 13 to 19. Are you ready to show the world what you've got? We're excited to announce the latest global virtual teen talent contest, where you win cash prizes and scholarships by performing your unique talent. Here's how to participate. 1. Record a 1-minute video of yourself performing your talent. 2. Upload the video, link in description or comments. 3. Submit your video by the deadline. We're looking for a wide range of talents, from singing and dancing to magic tricks and comedy skits. So whether you're a musician, an actor, or a chef, we want to see your unique talent. The top talents will be selected by a panel of judges and will be announced shortly after. So don't wait, start filming, and good luck.
What you just said about eating with your hands.
Yes, your hand, your fingers actually produce oils that help with your digestion. So if you're eating with your hands, you're actually enhancing the digestive process when you lick your finger. So all these things that we been taught that are unsophisticated. See, the Creator knew it. The Creator knew how to make all these systems work together. Why are we thinking we need to help out the Master Creator that made all of this make sense? So if you eat with your hands are going to help with your digestive system so that your food is better able to go down your esophagus and be dissected in your stomach and all of that. So the oils help to do all of that.
As opposed to putting a fork and a spoon in your mouth that has metal in it.
Metal, yes.
Oh, wow. I never thought about
plastic,
that.
like you talked about.
I never thought about that, Naima. Wow. And many of us don't even know that. So how about that? That's good information, is it not? So they tell us, in the motherland, you grab that fufu and you with your fingers and you put it in your mouth, and that's what children do. But no, we've been taught to use some silver. We even have it in our teeth, and that's why I got to go to the dentist today to get this silver out of my mouth. I digress. I go there sometime. I'm sorry. What can I say? Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Marching on the DNC and the RNC in the summer 2024. If you just tuned in this morning, our guest is the internationally and nationally known Galen Tyler. He is recognized as an anti-poverty and human rights advocate, advocating for you while you're maybe not participating. So it's important that you participate. Now, coming up at 8:30, we're going to have the president of the NABJ, National Association of Broadcast Journalists, and he will be talking about what's going on at the DNC and the RNC in this summer. Is this taking place right now as we speak, or is that from a last march?
Yeah, that's from I think that's from a march in New York City.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Back in the day. Or it might be, I think that might be Philadelphia. It's one of them. But yeah, we just recently had a march in Milwaukee on July 15th, opening day of the RNC.
Yes.
But we've been gearing up, and we're going to be starting a march August the 3rd from Milwaukee, marching to Chicago.
Oh.
For 2 weeks, arriving in Chicago on August the 17th. August the 18th, we have this People Fest going on where we have different artists from spoken word to poetry to music. They're going to be performing at a People's Fest in Chicago. And then on August the 19th, we're going to be marching opening day of the DNC at 4 o'clock down to the United Center from Humboldt Park.
Okay. Now, and if there's anything else you would like for me to include, I'm going to include all of this on our blog just so people have an update.
And just so you know that we do have a permit. You know what I mean? All our other marches that we have done in the past, we never had a permit.
Oh.
But this time the city made a mistake. You know, they're supposed to get back to you with a decision within 10 days, and they took like 12. So when we went to court, they had to grant us a permit as we applied for, if they don't get back to us within 10 days. So we, just due to the city mishap, we was able to get a permit this time to march on the DNC.
Oh, wow. See, that's called divine order, even though someone else may have had intentions for something else to happen. See, when you're working in conjunction with the universe, which is trying to always give us what we need. When we're working in conjunction with that, things do flow. And sometimes it seems like it's a mishap, but them not showing up and getting it 2 days later was a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely.
Well, how about that?
Yes. And so, we're expecting a lot of people. Some of our last marches, we didn't have 10 to 20,000 of people, I mean, being part of it. And so we're expecting this to be one of the largest due to us having a permit. And, what's happening in Chicago, that's what's been happening forever today, is like always trying to get someone to look like you, to tell you, here, take the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And the Kool-Aid got poison in it. We don't want to keep drinking Kool-Aid. A lot of us need to be able to look at things transparent, look at it clearly. We want to clearly see it. We don't want all these different colors and stuff like that, making it look like something that it really ain't. And so we really have a problem, when we have a mayor that's claiming to be progressive, claiming to be, for the people, and then spends, millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars, so the Republican or the Democrats can come to your city and have a party for 4 days, spend like 20, 30 million on security with armored tanks and all this militarized, equipment, what I mean, trying to stop people from exercising their First Amendment rights. And, like that should be something basic, in relationship to like what this country claims to stand on, what I mean? But we see a major contradiction in that based on the attacks that we have been seeing happen to the different campuses all around the country, trying to, stop the war in Gaza.
And the war in Gaza is just like any other war. It is, how can I say this? It's just profitable to be at war, but we don't reap the benefits. I'll put it like that.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean? It's a few major weapons corporations here in the United States, love when we go to war because they make so much money, and it takes and cuts local services, all the different services that's needed here. They get cut, and we just able to send, we don't send 40 billion here, 40 billion there. And we think that that's not okay. Stop the war at home and at abroad. We don't want you spending our money overseas, to kill other poor people, around the world. And, also simultaneous, putting a chokehold around the people here that aren't able to get like their basic necessities and killing them out too, choking them out too.
It's horrible. How do you get people to be involved when they are afraid that something like this is going to happen if they show up?
Yeah, it's tough, what I mean? Because there's so many people, what I mean, that they plant fear in you from the whole time while you're going to school, what I mean? So when you become an adult, you still scared and fear all these different agencies, and have you looking up to the people that are very pretty much, trying to destroy your life. So what we do is we try to get people to practice this whole politics of love. We come very nonviolent, regardless of who you are. We come peaceful, regardless of who you are. We're trying to figure out, not trying to, have combative type situations with anyone. Is like open dialogue, sitting down, trying to figure out how the massive of us are going to work together. We already know whether you're a brain surgeon, or you working a truck driver, with computers and robots today, these jobs are being eliminated.
Yes, they are.
And we know that if you're a brain surgeon making $250,000 a year, and a robot takes, your job, that's going to lower your standard of living. So it's not just, they're saying, oh, it's just the manufacturing jobs. That was just the first step, But when you knock the bottom out, everything above starts dropping. And so that's what we're seeing. And we truly think that the best way to go about this is trying to figure out how to create something new. We can't keep trying to get blood from a turnip. Yes. Like it's not going to happen. No. A chicken hawk is never going to tell the prey, what they're trying to do. They're not going to try to warn you. They're not going to try to help you. They're not going to try to preserve you. They're just going to keep being in the nature being a chicken hawk. And we just got to recognize that. We can't be acting like, okay, tomorrow the Democrats are going to stop and think it's bad from killing women and children, little babies, and being able to go to sleep at night. Who does that? Only someone who has real ill intent, not just for you, but just for anyone. And we want to change that. We want to be able to have people start loving each other again, and that's been the problem. They have divided us so much that we don't even like ourselves. So we can't love our neighbors, and so we do a number of different educationals that we do all the time, and it's in line with our projects of survival. We give out food. Let's sit down and let's talk. Most people don't want to let you in their door. No, people don't want to come to no meeting if there's not like what you do for me, because it's a hard struggle out here. People don't want to hear me talking about capitalism is burning itself out. You know, they looking at like how I'm gonna pay my rent.
Thank you.
How I'm gonna get food for the kids and stuff. And
Right.
so we try to meet people's needs, basic needs, doing projects of survival by any means necessary, and then allow them to come in and have some political discussion and let them see why we live in a food desert. You know, people should know why they live in food desert. People should know why it's like for every one unhoused person, it's 10 abandoned houses, you know, and then other places, that's here in Philadelphia, but it's other like Chicago. Um, for every unhoused person, there's 27 abandoned houses. Detroit.
Wow. Say that again. Just don't skip right over that number. Please repeat that. For every
one unhoused person, there's 27 abandoned properties, homes. And Detroit is even worse. It's like 1 to like 52. You know what I mean? It's like that all around the country. There's so many abandoned properties. If they had the political will, they could end homelessness tonight. But yet they're building all these luxury units that are empty, waiting for people to come in from outside the suburb to now start coming back into the city. And they're just gentrifying neighborhoods after neighborhoods. And then that's a real big problem. But we don't want to start to talk about something that make everybody bicker, you know what I mean, and argue about how it's going. We just want to bring it all the way down to the basic level on some common sense level. Are people's basic needs being met?
Right.
No. Well, how do we make that happen?
Wow. I am just flabbergasted at these statistics, and especially as it relates to all these abandoned properties. Because I know, and what you said about, I think it's the white flight. Why the cities are so crowded now, because people are coming from the suburbs. They would the housing market convinced them to go to the suburbs, and then everybody flocked out there, and now they're catching hell out there, and they want to come back to the city. Rush hour traffic used to be 9 a.m. till noon.
Yes.
And now it's all day.
Absolutely.
24/7. I was like, what is going on? And then the thought just hit me one day. It's like they've come back from the suburbs. But what you're seeing here this is my personal blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com. For those who just joined us, I showed you the Higher Learning Network blog, but this is mine, just so you know. It says Zelda Speaks Mindfulness blog. So you go to zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com, and there's Galen right there, our number one man. And the question, this is what I wanted to talk about: homeless, unhoused, being arrested. How you gonna arrest somebody who's living on the street? So you gonna make them unhoused by giving them a jail cell? Is that the most ridiculous thing you ever heard of in your life? I mean, it's just like a slap in the face. Are we grown and stupid or what?
Yeah, and they just passed that, you know what I mean? You know, it's like, just doesn't make sense in relationship to like, you know, spending resources, you know what I mean? And not truly caring about, you know what I mean, our brothers and sisters and our neighbors, you know, and that's where love, and we know at the top, they're looking at profits, you know what I mean, over people's lives. And so that's why we're trying to get people to understand, as much as we out here feeding, housing people, you know, trying to do political education and stuff, we constantly want people to know that, like, I don't know you from Adam or Eve, but I love you. And I think you deserve the right to live, you know what I mean, on this planet without having to worry about where you're going to get food from and all this stuff like that, when it's abundance, because they have us thinking it's a scarcity. You know, they make us think like, the reason why people are homeless because it ain't no housing. That's not true. It's that it's not no political agency or no will in the city's agency to figure out how to match up all these abandoned houses with these homeless people. Right. If I was in charge, you know, when I look, let's just say certain cities, let's just say, I'm just using these numbers for example. If it's 27,000 unhoused people, you know what I mean, in Philadelphia, and we got over 60,000 abandoned cribs, why wouldn't I try to figure out how to take these 27,000 people and get them housed inside these 60,000 abandoned cribs? It just doesn't make sense. But most of them are just sitting there waiting for different politicians to be able to make money when these big developers come in and want to knock down the housing and put up more luxury units, trying to attract more people, from with wealth from different cities or different suburbs to come back to the city.
And they are coming back. They have come back full force. And it's up to us. We can sit here and complain about it all day long, but until we do something about it, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. So,
And yes, I was just about to say, we just recently had our book released. On July 10th, we have a book that's called Takeover on a human rights approach to housing. And it explains how, who we are, a lot of our history, but it also has a how-to guide in the back that can teach you how to take over federally owned properties in your city.
What?
Yes.
And where does one get this book?
You probably can Google it and see. You can order it online. You know what I mean?
What's it called again?
Takeover: A Human Rights Approach to Homelessness.
A human rights approach to homelessness. Housing is a human right. I find it, excuse me, I'm looking for the book.
Takeover is the name of the book.
Oh, Takeover. Yeah, I typed that in, trying to see what's coming up, trying to pull it up. But let me just show right quick here while I have this up here. This is our blog for the hln.homeless.project. This is the work that we do. And if you scroll down, you'll see all that information will be on the blog on tumblr.com, Higher Learning TV show. But there's just a sample of the work that we do. And I wanted to highlight that the partnership that we have in Chicago come from people that look like us, people who care. And I'm not talking about people who look like us as in skin color. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people with a heart who have other people's best interests. Now, this is example here. This is Jody Susan. Pull it out so you can see. Yeah, that's yours. And it's not just a regular filter that's carbonated. So all your water is alkaline. So you fill it up right here. And y'all come on over here and get something to eat. Come on, Chef Tony. Thank you very much. And okay, so that's my husband Tony. He's he helps distribute the food. But the water that you saw, this young woman is from Chicago, named Jody Susan from Susan Essentials. She lived in north suburb Naperville, somewhere out there, Grays Lake. I can't remember. But she moved to Georgia, and she still keeps up with us. And she was so concerned about their water, she sent two water tanks of filter, so they would have filtered alkaline water. Who does that? Who does that? But people who care, not people, we're not talking about skin color. We're talking about people with the same heart, with the same love for those who do not have. So kudos to Jody Susan of Susan Essentials. And there's a ton of more footage there, but that's just what I had to show you this morning. But I want to go back and pull up that book. And we also have our 8:30 guest. He'll be joining us shortly, but I want to pull up that book, Housing as a Human Right. I want to
it's called Takeover. Takeovers.
Yeah. Maybe would it be on Amazon?
I'm pretty sure.
Amazon. Let me go to Amazon, because lots of times when you go to Amazon, let me pull that up. It's usually right there, called Takeover. Share. There we go. Amazon.com. And it's called Takeover. Takeover. Do I need to put apostrophes or anything like that?
No.
Takeover. Say that name again. Takeover. What's the name?
How a human rights approach to housing.
A human rights approach to housing. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Well, I'll find it and put it on my blog. How about that?
Yes, and I'll get Nick to send it to you.
Okay, good. because that information is crucial. People need to know. Yeah, because people are reluctant. It's like, yeah, I don't know you from Adam, so who are you? So if you would like to leave us some closing thoughts before you go.
Yes, I would say this. If people are in Chicago on August the 19th, they should come out and join us at 4 p.m. at Humboldt Park.
Oh,
And and be a witness. If you don't want to participate, be a witness, because one of the things that we know is that the way things are going to change is when we start linking up with each other, and bring about the real concrete changes.
okay.
Everything else is going to be reformed, and you'll get that back within days, months, years. It'll come right back to you. But when you figure out how to bring about real change, we can move forward and set a stage for the generations to come to be able to have a good, decent, dignifying life just by being born on this planet.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much. We greatly appreciate that, because it is people like you who make a difference in the lives of others, especially those who are unhoused. And my sister from another Mr. Vieta Robinson, our Sunday night host of Soul Purpose Healing, and she's also on Friday mornings from 7 until 9 a.m. with Health and Wellbeing podcast right here on the Female Solution. She says California is planning to evict all the homeless off the streets. What does your guest think will happen to them and any other cities?
You know, Most of the time, like they're doing a lot of different things, even right here in Philadelphia. They've been, you know, um, grabbing up and grabbing the unhoused and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
trying to use different programs, not, pretty much fast tracking them. They had like a couple different options. One in Philadelphia is horrible. Asking people, is it anywhere you want to go? And they give me you a bus ticket, a Greyhound bus ticket there. That's one of the things that they're doing. Two, they've been trying to put most of the people in these different recovery programs, that are warehousing people just to have them off the streets using drugs inside different facilities, versus to trying to figure out putting wraparound services, moving people away from the drugs, figure out how to get them permanent, affordable housing. That's not on the case. And so we've been seeing this happen, over and over and over again. And one of the things that they want to do is really go about trying to eliminate all the different services, for the unhoused people, by acting like they're criminals. And they've been doing that forever and a day, trying to criminalize homelessness. And so we really, truly want people to be involved and be witnesses. A lot of stuff people be like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. But you can always be a witness and bear witness to the truth and be able to pass that on and spread that, versus to the mainstream media that shapes our perceptions with one-liners or keep repeating and showing other different things that we know are out of context. And so, yeah, just be prepared. You can always link up with the Poor People's Army. Take and figure out how we can come in and help. We travel anywhere, to try to figure out any of our experiences that we have and learned, to be able to share with the next, organization, the next family, to be able to let each one teach one, to ensure that we pass this message on, that we can't just keep taking it the way it is. Enough is enough. We have to really, truly, get together and bring about changes.
Yes, well, you are definitely doing that. I want to thank you and appreciate you. In case nobody's told you lately, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
I know you don't hear that enough, because you are being selfless to the degree. But the good universe puts you in a place to make you one of them, so to speak, so that they could become one of us.
Thank you so much.
So thank you for your work. Continue the work. Send me all the information. You got my email. Send me all you got, and everything you got, I'll blast it out here in the city of Chicago and all over the world. So thank you. Thank you. Thank us, as Baba Kwame would say, one of the elders who calls to the show off. He says, thank us. Us as in universal spirits. Us as
Absolutely.
in the ancestors are here with us. And because of you, they're here with us today. Namaste.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank us, and we'll see you at the march on the 19th.
Absolutely.
But one thing I got to clear up here, you said Humboldt Park on March 4th.
Yeah, August the 19th on August 19th, Humble Park.
Oh, it's at It's not at the United Center. It's in Humboldt Park.
It's where we're going to be gathering at 4 p.m. And we're going to have we're going to march down to
Gotcha. Okay. I just had to get an understanding. So thank you very much for that. Greatly appreciate that.
Thank you to it.
You're all right. You have a great day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. All righty. If you enjoyed that, wait until the next part of the Monday Morning Mindfulness as we take our last break here on the Female Solution. And the question is, are you ready for it? Naima Latif will be joining us shortly. And here's something from the On Air Network, in which I am not quite sure what's going on, but you can call in. Oh, we have a call on China, on a call from China. We will take your call as soon as we come back from this break.
Welcome to CannaGlobe, the first ever virtual dispensary offering a world-class collection of cannabis brands drop shipped to your front door. How does it work? CannaGlobe took the same concept Amazon used to become the largest company in the world. But instead of shipping toilet paper, t-shirts, and tennis shoes, CannaGlobe offers something a lot sexier. Yeah, cannabis. With over 100 premier products, from bakables like chocolate chip cookies, brownies, fried chicken batter, to cannabis mocktails like pina colada, margarita, old fashioned, to gummy rocks, sweet tarts, seltzers, king palms, pre-rolls, disposable vapes, carts, and did I mention THCA flower and magic mushrooms? CannaGlobe is the first ever to drop ship flower to every state. We're also the first ever to offer magic mushrooms legally to every state. Well, except Louisiana. We're also the first ever where you get to be the brand. You heard it. Meet the requirements and get your own brand at the dispensary. Your brand, fully paid for by the company, and you earn on company-wide revenue. Your brand can be featured right alongside celebrities and mega influencers such as Dan Bilzerian with Ignite, Holly Barker with Happy Snacks, Scotty Huss with Biscotti, and so much more. Rolling Stone magazine said, if it seems like a new state is legalizing cannabis nearly every week, don't worry, you're not high. It is indeed happening at an unprecedented pace. CNBC calls it the new gold rush. Forbes says the market could grow by 700%. And the Wall Street Journal calls it a tremendous market. We're currently in 26 countries and growing. Industry icons are saying that CannaGlobe is the most innovative, disruptive, and compelling business model this industry has ever seen. You're probably asking yourself, how is this legal? Here's how. All our products are compliant with the 2018 Farm Bill. So what's the opportunity for you? To become a virtual dispensary owner without all the hassles. No experience is required. No storefront, no inventory, no licensing, and best of all, no apologies. And is 100% legal. You can become a virtual dispensary owner. There are 3 ways you can take advantage of this opportunity. 1. You can become an affiliate by simply purchasing any product on AutoShip and get paid 20% on all your customers' purchases. 2. Or you can become a VDO for a one-time fee of $2.99 plus $25 per month. You receive a business sample kit. You can earn up to 85% in commissions, unlimited levels, and you get trained by a certified trainer. However, if you are serious about making money, we highly recommend you become a VDO Pro so that you can get paid to train VDOs whether on your team or not, and you will receive training from a certified trainer. What do? It's simple and fun. You acquire a handful of customers and teach others to do the same.
And that is not what we are about. We are about the business of helping others, the unhoused. We raise funds for them. We are not into multi-level marketing. And I told them that when we got started. Our mission here at the Higher Learning Network is to help raise funds. So those who shop there, we will get a a commission for when they shop, and that's how we continue to feed them. We are not trying to build a multi-level marketing network, so you need to know that up front. So if you would like to place an order and share this link with someone else who would like to place an order, we would greatly appreciate it. But no, we're not into multi-level marketing. Just thought I'd share that with you. I also want to share with you what someone sent, and I believe this is Wendy. I'm not sure, Naima, you'll be able to tell me. It says, "Morning, Zelda, great content. It makes sense to arrest a homeless person because there is big business in these jails and prisons. Look up how much it costs to house inmates per person and who pays for it. And then it should make sense. Sorry, I could not comment publicly on this matter. I do get it. The city has always done things in 20-year plans. Yes, they have. When they made the suburbs little cities to ease the burden of Chicago until the bottom fell out, now folks are running from the suburbs. It's no longer affordable, and certain suburbs and the businesses have been taxed out, so they are forced to leave also." Great show, Zelda. Great information. And thank you for sharing that. And I'll keep your name anonymous because I know, we know some things. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you. This is a time that we all must become involved. And getting involved is what we do here on Monday Morning Mindfulness. I believe we have a call from China, so I'm going to bring on Naima Latif, and she just disappeared. But in the meantime, in between time, let us welcome to the stage Brandon Pope, the president of the National Association of Black Journalists. Welcome, my brother. Thank you so much for your patience with us this morning.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
And thank you for being here. And I also want to introduce you to the young lady who's responsible for us being here, and that would be Naima Latif, who hooked the sister up, who we're both I haven't been a member of NAB. I've been inactive, I'll put it like that, but I'm still doing the work. So thank you, Naima, for bringing on Brandon, the president of the National Association of Black Journalists. I've only been to a few meetings, and it was very eye-opening. So thank you for taking this plight upon yourself to do the work that's necessary to get the information out to our community. So tell us, how did you even become involved? Are you a fellow journalist? I'm sure you are. Duh. Okay.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you for giving us this platform, and we'd love to see you at a meeting sometime soon. We always love extending our NABJ family. For me, I mean, I am a journalist here in Chicago. I'm a reporter and anchor at WCIU. I'm the host of On the Block, powered by Block Club Chicago. I'm also over at WBEZ, the NPR station, and write for Ebony Magazine and a host of other platforms.
Oh,
yeah, and WGN Radio as well. So, I get around in the media spaces. And I got into NABJ as a student. When I was a student at Ball State University, I started our chapter. And NABJ is what really was a mentorship and guide and navigation for me to power my career. And so the reason why I do what I do is because I'm passionate about giving back. I'm passionate about creating that same opportunity for other young people, because I understand how important it is to have people like the three of us doing what we do. Black people in the room, Black people shaping narrative, and Black people, telling the stories and documenting our history. And if there's less of us doing it, well, we all know who can be trusted with our stories better than us. So that's the mission of NABJ, and that's ultimately what I'm all about. And that's why I do what I do and how I got into what I do.
Wow, that was a mouthful. I'm pulling up the website so that people can see here exactly what NAG, because there are plenty of us who just don't have a clue what NABJ is. And Naima, I'm not sure, did we meet at a NABJ or CABJ event? I don't even remember how.
It might have been. I don't know, possibly, because we both were doing shows at Can TV, and I think I got involved with NABJ because one of the Can TV producers were a guest there. I think it was what's Mark's last name?
Robinson. Marcus Robinson?
No, not Marcus Robinson. Mark, he had a show there.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, over 60, what happens. Okay, yeah. So, but he was a guest on a panel there, and they were talking about cable television. And so I went to a meeting, and that's how I got involved. And so that might have been where we met. And, since then, I've been really advocating that we get into the media business and make our voices the dominant voices when it comes to defining what's happening. That's why it's so powerful to have an organization where we're training young people and preparing them for now an industry that's wide open with, you know, the internet making it possible for people to be global. And speaking of global, we've got a caller on the on-air network from China who's been listening in, and you know, because her experience has been over in China with, you know, they've got a homeless population there. We were talking in the earlier segment, and here in Chicago, where we have this major convention coming up, the NABJ convention, and of course coming right before the Democratic National Convention, the DNC, and we know that they want to hurry up and scuttle all the homeless people off the street because you've got people coming from all over the world and they don't want the city looking raggedy. So we've seen them all of a sudden do some things they could have been doing all along. As far as putting people into these abandoned buildings and so forth. But now, you know, now that the world's looking at you, they come in and you want to look good and not look like you're mistreating people who don't have money. Now all of a sudden we got hotels that we can put them in, and we have empty buildings we can put them in. But you could have been doing that all along. Why didn't you do it? That's the question. So these are the things that our journalists need to be raising, because we have a certain perspective that we're going to put forward and not just the regular narrative that we're told to say. That's why it's so important for us to speak and be heard and organize so that we can strengthen our voices.
Yes, ma'am. You hit the nail on the head. If they could have put them up in the hotel in December, why are you waiting till August? It's July. It's hot. Yeah, they do need air, but this is Chicago in the wintertime. They need to be in there December. So you had to wait till the DNC to come. I digress. I go there. Let's go to the caller, Naima.
Okay.
Do you have their name?
Yes, Lavinia from China, who's joining us on the on-air network. Give us your question regarding, because she had some points about people who are mentally ill. Is it dangerous to let them stay in buildings? But Lavinia, can you hear us? Okay, make sure your phone is unmuted, and we're gonna make sure that she can be heard, and make sure that our connection is good. And while we're checking on that, one of the things that, because we also reported on this on our on-air daily news site, the fact that one of the hotels near the Magnificent Mile is closing, and so they're making that available to, I guess you'd say,
there's a hotel
because there was such an outcry when the Venezuelan migrants were giving these. Because there was such a. Okay, I guess we can hear. All right. So, caller, are you on now?
Unmute yourself. Sounds like they're having some issues there. But how?
But so with so much anger, and I went to the city council meeting, and there was so much anger about that fact that they could come up with money. That I forgot how many millions, and you might remember, Brandon, how many millions they were going to allocate to the Venezuelans to house them, and the people who didn't want the city council to approve that were saying, why are you giving them money? You can't give money to all of these Chicagoans who have been homeless for years. And I think 17 Ward Alderman David Moore was one of the few that refuted or who didn't agree to ratify the measure to give the
homeless.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a little feedback there. I'm not quite sure where this coming from.
Yeah, I took care of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the things that one of the things that I saw was that the city had money. And if they had money for the migrants, why didn't they have money for the people who've been homeless for years? And of course, Zelda, you've been feeding them. So Brandon, a lot of the journalists that are involved in NABJ, they work for networks, and they get the information that we get. But what has been the struggle like to free our Black journalists to be able to say some things that they may feel that may go against or might not be the corporate sponsored position or the government sponsored position? How free do they feel to be able to take a different perspective, and how much impact you think they've been able to have because they can point out a different perspective on things that maybe their white counterparts may not be aware of because their experience is different?
Yeah, I think ultimately when it comes to Black journalists, we definitely face challenges if we work for corporate entities.
Yeah.
In times where you do need the Black voice, but this is why it's important we're in there, because they need us. And, we do have a voice that we can utilize and push. And I've been in situations in newsrooms throughout my career where I've had to have vigorous debates and battles with my managers and news leadership about what should be covered and the way something should be covered, or the fact that something isn't getting covered, right? The fact of the matter is, a lot of people, we don't like to fight, but we have to get in the fight. And that's why Black journalists matter. We are in the fight. We are fighting for our communities, our people every single day. And, I think there is there's a myth out there that corporate news like a CBS, ABC, a CNN, that they basically dictate to people what to report or what to say. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. The truth is, you do have different networks that have angles, but it's on the individual journalists to decide whether they're going to go with the flow or push against the stream. And Black journalists, there's so many outstanding Black journalists at corporate entities that do just that. They push against the stream. They make sure they put us first, advocate for us first, and make sure they get our stories in coverage and on the rundown. There's many times if you see a Black story on a major news outlet, it's because of a Black person in that newsroom pushing for it. So that's why it's crucial that we're there, because if we're not there, our stuff's going to get ignored and not covered at all. And so we have to make sure we get more of us. And that means raising up the youth. That means developing the professionals, sharpening each other, because iron sharpens iron, and making sure that we are all equipped and ready for this fight. Because let's be honest here, it's going to get tougher. It's going to get tougher. Black people, our community, are under attack.
Yes.
Specifically with misinformation and disinformation. And so it's up to journalists, us on the front lines, to let our people know the truth, make sure they know the facts, and make sure they are well informed, especially in an election year that's really crucial.
And sometimes that decision that they make to report some information could cost them their job.
Absolutely. Yeah, it could be risky. Yeah.
Yes, I have seen it. I worked for a hot minute in news, and I'm like, I cannot do this. I am not chicken, but I know I got a mouth, and they will get rid of me before it's my time to go. So I need to find another route to go. I worked at NBC5 for like a week, and I saw the decisions, how the decisions are made as to what programming they will allow us to receive. And the first thing, and both of you already know, if it bleeds, it leads. Right. So if it's not something negative about the Black community.
Yeah. I mean, I've been labeled as difficult in newsrooms before.
Oh, of course.
For being,
you have a mind. You have a mind, and you're just not a robot. Yes, that's why.
I've been labeled before. But I also want to uplift the great bosses I have had who don't deem me difficult, who advocate for me to have that voice, right?
What a blessing.
And I'm thankful I have a Black boss who, a Black woman who understands the issues. This is just like I do, who sometimes, what's the word? I think sometimes I can be conditioned to couch things in a way to be more palatable to other audiences, and she's really good about let's make it plain. Let's say it what it's got, and I love that. And so you need that too. That's also why Black managers are important. That's also why Black leadership is important in newsrooms. You know, like it's little things that really matter. Language, the language used to talk about our people, the images used to talk about our people, the video used to talk about our people. When our stories are going to air, is it the top of the rundown, or is it in the middle or the bottom? Is it the last story on the homepage, or is it one of the top stories? Right? But those decisions are not made by me. They are made by bosses, leaders, managers. And so we got to get more Black people into those positions. And fortunately, we're seeing that across the board, especially here in Chicago. And I'm thankful for it.
Now, I got a question, and I know this comes up a lot when you see a news story and they want to get a Black person to make a commentary. Someone makes the choice to select somebody who is the raggediest looking person, and I'm not talking about people, but no teeth in the mouth, bonnet on their head, can't put a sentence together, and someone makes the decision to grab that person. Now, people are who they are, and I don't denigrate people, but sometimes Black audiences feel like there was a deliberate decision to portray us in a way that could be embarrassing by getting someone who isn't articulate and isn't presenting the best of themselves and putting them on television. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, is it just an unconsciousness about that? Is it like we just want to get a real looking person? Or, I mean, who makes those kind of decisions on how to select people to?
Yeah, and that's a really tough one. So a lot of that, a lot of that decision making is on the individual reporter on the ground and the crew that they have, right? Speaking from experience, I'm just going to be honest. I'm a person who is very democratic in how I view talking to people and putting them on the news. If so, I don't really gauge for, are they articulate or do they meet any parameters? Because whose definition is like, who's the standard of what's articulate, right? We all speak in different ways and speak differently in our communities. So I think it's a slippery slope for reporters and field crews to start, in a sense, having bias or biases and using those biases to weed out people they'll talk to. Oh, they don't talk straight enough for me, or they don't say the words nice enough. So that part, I truly do not think that there is many times an intention to put somebody on for the purpose of, oh, they're going to talk bad and make Black people look bad. I really don't. I do think what it is so often, especially the way news moves, you're looking for anybody who's seen it, who's witnessed to it, who is in the action, who can give you perspective. And sometimes the people that gravitate to the microphone the most, you know, they may not be the best spokespeople, right? And that's the challenge, because the other thing is, like, people, it's a two-way thing. I can want to talk to somebody, but they got to want to talk to me. And I've been in so many situations as a reporter where people don't want to talk to me. You know, they absolutely not. People have a fear of cameras, fear of being on TV, fear of mistrust of media, whatever. So I think there's a lot of layers to it. And in the moment when all this is happening, I really don't think many are actively gauging whether someone's going to be good on TV or not. It's for that particular type of story or something that's happening in the moment. And I would caution them, especially white reporters, not to. Because I think if you do so, you start to get a little. It is a slippery slope. Who deserves to be on TV, right? You know, that gets tough.
Yeah, it can. Yeah. Mark Sims, that's his name.
Mark Sims. Yeah.
Mark Sims, who was on the panel at NABJ, and I came to the meeting and then started getting involved in the organization. So if someone is in the field of communications, if they've either trying to get into the business or even have a current show or something like that and want to connect with other journalists for that support, how do they become a member of NABJ?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. You go to nabjchicago.org and you hit the join button. It's $35 a year, cheapest dues in the country.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very simple, very easy. And we try to keep it affordable because we know that journalists don't make a lot of money, if we're being honest. So we don't want to price anybody out of being able to get that opportunity. But it does take money for us to do the work we do. So it's a nonprofit, 501c3. That means your membership dues are tax deductible. And then to join the national organization, a little pricier. I think it's about $150 to join nationally a year. But I also encourage you to do so as well. And then, of course, the conventions in town, NABJ's Chicago convention. It's on pace to be the most heavily attended NABJ convention of all time. And you're going to see a lot of Black people flowing into our city and a lot of beautiful Black people. So, maybe some people you've seen on TV before. So wave at them, say hi, be welcoming everybody in Chicago, because these are the people who are in charge of shaping narratives. And we have an opportunity to showcase how incredible our city is. We all know the negative narratives and stereotypes out there about Chicago. And we have a chance to give a direct answer and clap back to that. And that's what I'm most looking forward to, is to show people how outstanding this city is, truly the best city in America.
All right now.
Now, how do people, can they go on your website and still register?
They sure can. So the site you have pulled up right there, nabj.org is the official convention site. You can register for the convention there. You can register for one day or the whole thing. Lots of different panels and sessions and workshops, mixers, networking, a lot of great connections. I've gotten jobs and opportunities through just going to the convention. Many people have career fair, lots of opportunities, and just a great chance to meet new people. We're really all we got. So you have to make sure that you are lifting together and rowing together. And so this is a good opportunity to fellowship, to meet like-minded people, and to build some long-standing partnerships that can last a generation.
Wonderful, because we need some winds of change right about now. And if we don't show up and do it, who will?
Yeah. Amen.
So we are the keeper of the story. So we must ensure that the stories that are told are the ones that we want told, not somebody else's definition of what our story is. So that's booth number. Let me go back here. Is it 114? The print is just so small. I'm a little bit. I just saw it.
Now, while you're looking for that, I got a question. How is NABJ going to be involved with the DNC, the Democratic National Convention? Have you been able to get Kamala to come? Let me be respectful. Vice President Kamala Harris come and address NABJ?
So I
take advantage of that opportunity.
So 114, there it is, right there in my face. Lord have mercy.
So every election year, NABJ extends the offer out to the candidates to come out, both candidates. And that same thing has happened this year. Of course, the candidate at the top of the Democratic ticket has changed. However, the expectation is the same. Kamala Harris has been invited to come to the NABJ convention. I cannot confirm whether she will actually be there. And many times these things aren't revealed until the day of, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I feel like she probably will. It'd be a slam dunk opportunity for her. And there's been some speculation that Donald Trump may arrive as well. So
great.
We will see. But yes, as far as the DNC, that's going to be a big thing here in the city of Chicago. The DNC is going to have a mixer for some Black journalists for off and on the record questions on Thursday night, I believe. I believe that's already booked up, the RSVP and everything, but they will be doing some engagement with Black journalists on the ground. Notably, the RNC will not, but DNC is. So look for that. And we got a wild month of August here in Chicago.
Yeah, buddy, it's a hot month. And I'm thinking to myself, that's my birthday week. I'm not going to say which day, but I was like, do I want to spend my birthday at the NABJ? Oh, maybe you do. Do something different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice to celebrate.
And the way to do that is to download the app. How about that? So that way you can keep up. What do you think about that, Brandon?
Yeah, sounds good. I think it's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, that way you'll have all the information and be updated, everything you need to know. It is 9 a.m. and we are out of time. And if you would like to leave us some closing thoughts, Brandon, or if you have any other questions, Naima?
Oh no, we know he's got to hit it and
hit it
started. So we'll let him have those last words of wisdom to leave with us.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. This is a transformative moment for the city of Chicago and for Black journalists across the board. A moment to, really tell the story of our city, and a moment for us to make generational impact for the Black journalism community. Our local chapters fundraising with some different events throughout the city for the NABJ. That money directly is going to our scholarships, going to our operating accounts, and going to making sure that we can put forward programming, opportunities, grants, scholarships, funding, capital, money toward powering the next generation of journalists. So that's what it's all about. We encourage everyone to join us in this mission. You don't have to be a journalist to be part of NABJ. You don't have to be a journalist to support NABJ. We have people who are lawyers. We have people that are doctors. We have people that are politicians who are NABJ members. They pay their $35 dues, like Representative Sonia Harper. So, it's very important that we all take a collective responsibility and take the charge of making sure that our stories are preserved, our stories are told, and that we are building up the next generation of Black storytellers.
All right, that is awesome. And as you can see right there on the screen, it's right there for you. And if you didn't get it, remember, you can always go to our blog, tumblr.com, Higher Learning TV show. And that's where all the updates will get. So anything that you didn't get from Brandon that you missed today, it'll be there on the blog. And Brandon, you have my email address. Any updates you want to send me constantly, I will post them. So
appreciate it. Thanks so much for the platform, y'all.
Thank you for being here. Thank us.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you at the convention.
Yes, indeed. Have a good one.
All right. You have a better one. And thanks for watching and thanks for participating. And thank you for participating in this edition of Monday Morning Mindfulness, where we are just going to have a sensational week this week, starting with tomorrow, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. How could you say it's all about the literary, baby? Because I tell you, this here and this here, they're taking it away from you so you don't have your power. So you'll stay glued to this all day.
Oh.
And you look up and you'll be on your phone for 3 hours. And it's like, I've been scrolling and scrolling. I ain't got my work done. Let me put this phone down and do some breathing. And what can we expect on Wednesday?
Well, of course, I'll be here on Wednesday with my co-host, Kareem Hamid. And we've got some fascinating guests. We've got several guests that are going to be talking about the power of reconciliation and being able to diffuse the violence in the city and among our youth by teaching them how to talk to each other. So we're looking forward to the organizations that are part of that peace process. And we'll be sharing that with you on Wednesday. And of course, Thursday, we got Veggie Brunch Live with our dear sister Angela, giving us some real important health tips that can transform the health that we experience in our bodies every day. And Friday, Health and Wellbeing with Viata, always giving us the latest health news and also giving us a chance to work those joints every morning so we can be less stiff and not end up with those old age ailments that happen when you stop exercising. So
these kind of joints, not the other kind of joints.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Get it right.
Those joints. Yes. Rolling joints the right way. Yes. So, and then of course, Saturday, we have our first Saturday of the month host joining us live from the UK. Global Talks with Zana. So tune on in. It's going to be an exciting week. And you can always keep up with us on thefemalesolution.com. and see our wonderful team of hosts. Our second Saturday host, Mama Joy. Third Saturday, the wonderful Deborah, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth
Who's
Saturday,
one of our major sponsors for the homeless,
yeah.
unhoused project. So let that be known. There are caring people on this platform. All of us are caring, but thank you, Mama Deborah.
And we also, on our fourth Saturday, we've got the Global Teens, Tweens, and Tots contest. We found out we've got talented people starting at the age of 2. So we want to bring them on through so you can give them a reward of prizes and let them know that they are appreciated for their talents. And then on the 5th Saturday, we are live on location, and generally we have a chance to introduce you to some people that may not always be available in the daytime, but on location at the Elevate Cafe here in Chicago. We'll be bringing you some people that you need to know, authors, producers, people who are making a difference in the lives of others. And you can come on down and join us and have a cup of tea.
All right, now.
Of course, on Sundays, Soul Purpose Healing with Viata, always giving us some deep spiritual wisdom that is transformative and informative and inspirational. So,
and if you didn't see the show last night, it's not too late. It's always in the archives 24/7.
Absolutely. You can go to www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution and hear all our archive shows from years back. So people are still watching shows from years ago when the subject comes up again, and they hit a word or two on Google and our show appears and they get a chance to see us again. So it's always there. And of course, on the on-air network, we have stories happening as they happen, and we've got people that you need to know. So you can go to onaireverywhere.com and get the highlights from our on-air daily news site. And of course, I did an editorial on former President Trump and his assassination attempt. We got some questions about that. And news about our president, who's still our president, but he's realizing he really can't campaign, and now's the time to step on the side. And of course, we're highlighting that hotel that is offering housing, talking about that horrifying July 4th incident that made us realize we've got to change some things. Got the upcoming HBCU fundraising event that we had a chance to even stream live the press conference that is bringing in that very enjoyable event. And of course, we've got so many that are bringing powerful messages. So you can go to the on-air radio TV guide and just click on a face and get the direct link to their YouTube channel, Facebook page, and podcast links for shows that are inspirational, uplifting, and giving you insight that can help you evolve as a human being. This, of course, the wonderful Dolores Cannon, who has really transformed thought on the planet, and with all of her podcasts that still exist, even though she has transferred to the other side. And then, of course, we have
the Celebrity Lounge. There's our buddy Art Norman.
Yes. Doing some live interviews there with entertainers that pay tribute to some of our most loved and cherished artists, people who are doing some outstanding work in the community. And so on our on-air magazine show, we give you some live interviews there on the on-air magazine page. And of course, our printed magazine that highlights many of our guests that are on the show each day and gives you a chance to see the impact that so many people are having with the work that they do. So, yes, doing some fabulous work in photography, capturing the moment and being an inspiration to so many other young photographers. So we always encourage you. And then, of course, look out for our upcoming on-air TV network. We will be on the cable networks. You can tune on in on your big screen TV.
And if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, childcare services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
Absolutely. That's the power of the internet and mass media being available right on your cell phone. People are doing business and never have to leave their home. And if you got a product, people can pull it up and watching shows like this, see that advertisement and send you money. And it's just fabulous because you got electronic banking. You can pull up a website, send your money, buy a product. So we help you connect with these people because they're watching shows all day long on their computers, their cell phones, all day long. And even in the pandemic, when people didn't leave their homes, they were still doing business, still conducting commerce, and still communicating with the outside world using their devices. And so that's what we do. We help you connect with those people who are trying to find you. That's what we do. So yes, follow that link and let us help you make your money while you sit at home and relax and enjoy a cup of coffee.
Because that coffee sometimes will lead you in the direction to be, you got a little bit more energy. So you got just enough energy left to hit that button so you can subscribe as well as advertise your product or service.
Absolutely.
You love energy? Coffee might help you.
That's right. So I think that this is going to be a really exciting, really a whole month coming up. August
is
a time where, especially those of us living in Chicago, we're going to see the world right from our own backyard. We have people coming to NABJ convention, and as he said, you got all these journalists coming from across the nation, people that you see on TV every day, giving you information, making decisions about what you're going to see and hear. That's a very powerful position, and it's not one to be taken lightly.
Thank you.
You have access to people's minds. You have to decide, what do I want people to think? What do I want to inspire them to do? Do I want to incite them to commit an act of violence, or do I want to incite them or inspire them to commit an act of love, the way your guest talked about earlier, in having a community of people who are unhoused learning how to cooperate and help each other survive? That's a different mindset, and that's transformative. So we are happy to be able to bring people like him who are creating new systems of being that can change the world in which we live. And that's the power of the mass media. So when we have a voice on a program, we have to be conscious of how we are impacting the people who see and hear us. What do we want to inspire them to do after the show is over? Are we inspiring them to go out and help somebody, or are we inciting them to go out and hurt somebody? So we don't take this power to speak to the world lightly, because every day we're making a difference. Somebody's motivated to do something based on what they saw on this show today. And maybe somebody's motivated to go and feed some homeless people because of what you've said and what they've seen you do. Maybe somebody's motivated to go out and start a podcast because they're seeing, wow, I can talk to people. I got a message. Let me put my word out. Maybe somebody's inspired to go to that convention and meet some of these journalists and find out more about, well, how do you get into this business? Or maybe somebody's inspired to go to the Democratic National Convention and maybe join one of the protests and say, well, look, I'm going to exercise my First Amendment rights to say what I think should happen, and I'm protesting, the government's involvement in this and that, and you have a right to do that as well, which is also a powerful way to use your voice. We went to the Secret Service had a news conference and explaining how the city was going to be adjusted to handle security during the Democratic National Convention. And that's a cause of concern because people are worried if protesters are going to become belligerent or violent. Will the police be overreactive the way they were in 1968, and there were protesters then. And the police were quite brutal in trying to keep order. And so now that we've evolved in a more sophisticated manner of interacting, we hope Police Superintendent Snelling, he made sure that he emphasized that people's First Amendment rights to protest would be respected. And they, of course, the protest groups have agreed to be respectful, not coming vandalizing things or, starting fights, but to peacefully make their case known of what they didn't like that is happening. And so they are going to be respected, but also expected to stay in the parameters of where they've been given in order to give that protest, so that it doesn't become a security issue and police don't have to pull out guns and then it doesn't get ugly.
Right.
So these are things that were talked about because people are concerned what they saw or believe they saw, and they know they saw some people get shot to death, but certainly seeing what appeared to be an attempt on a former president's life, that's scary. And who wants to go to a crowded event and hear gunshots ring out? That's terrifying. So keeping people safe in Chicago is a big deal. One of the things that, in our caller, I guess they had a little bit of a technical difficulty getting through, but one of the things they wanted to ask about was, how do we know that the unhoused people are safe to be around? And maybe the reason why they're being moved away and moved into buildings and moved off the street is because their fears that these are people that are mentally ill, the reason why they're homeless, and could in fact pose a dangerous threat to people attending these various conventions in the city. So, I mean, that is a question. And a lot of people are, as you've observed, they're afraid of the unhoused, the people who are living on the street, the people who can't wash themselves because they don't have a house with a shower because they're living on the street and they smell bad. And people think if you smell bad, you must be mentally ill, instead of, well, I'll smell bad because nobody let me in a restaurant to wash because I don't have money to buy anything. So people make a lot of assumptions when someone's unhoused and living on the street and unwashed and wearing clothes that have been worn day after day after day after day because they don't have anything else. There are a lot of assumptions about people who are in that state, and people are afraid of them and scorn them. And sometimes they get arrested just for sitting on a public bench because they smell bad, because they can't wash, because they don't have a house. So, like as your guest said about criminalizing housing, criminalizing being unhoused, that has happened. So how do we make that not happen? How do we treat people like human beings, even if they don't have money? How do we share the resources that we have? We have empty buildings, and the owners aren't getting any money if they're empty. So why not just allow people to have shelter in a humane way? But the question is, are they mentally stable, and do they pose a threat? So those are real questions we have to ask, and be as humane as we can to everybody, and not assume that people deserve to be treated badly just because they don't have money. That's a horrible way to look at our fellow human beings. And this is why we have to change the way we think so we can change the way we behave. So thank you for having this show today to raise consciousness. I think that the issues of public safety are a concern when people come to a city like Chicago, because in the news, we have been projected as a very dangerous place. And that's a lot of what the mass media does. It gives you a reputation based on what people say about you.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to
programs that they want us to think and to hear and see. It's not true.
Yeah, it's not true. So we do want to project the best of this beautiful city. I think our mayor Brandon Johnson is doing an outstanding job. He's
doing what he's allowed to do.
He's doing the best he can given the situation he was brought into, which is an international issue, with the migrant situation, all stemming on U.S. policy toward Venezuela. And we got to always see we're all connected some kind of way. The way we treat our neighbors overseas is going to impact what we experience over here. So we have to choose somebody who is going to have the right policies when it comes to relationships abroad as well as at home. So I'm looking forward to hearing what the candidates have to say. Donald Trump is the Republican nominee. We're looking at what Kamala Harris, the expected Democratic nominee, is going to say about these very important global issues. The war abroad is the main thing that's going to draw the major protesters. Are they going to be peaceful in protesting war? We hope so. But we understand the rage and the anger that people feel because the mass media has made it possible for us to see killing as it happens, see war as it happens. And that's one of the things the Vietnam era brought forth, the power of the media to show you what war looks like. And when you see it, that's what creates the reaction. Before, you might read about it in the newspaper and so forth, but when you see it up close and personal on a screen, and you see the devastation of bodies being blown up, that is what helps people really understand how wrong war is, and how that we don't want war anymore. We had to see the horror of it for us to realize there's nothing noble about murdering people. Nothing.
And we profit nothing from it.
Yes.
But those who invented it does.
Right. They make money. So that means
billions, not millions, billions.
So
while you sit back and complain to your neighbor, get to the NABJ convention.
That's right. That's
show
right.
up and
empower the voices that are speaking to the masses. That's what this industry is about. Helping people understand what really is happening by telling them and showing them through all of our media outlets. And through that, we will make a change.
And change is not always a bad thing. Change is sometimes good, especially if it's on a baby's bottom and a baby diaper. Not the kind you jiggle, but the other kind, Anywho, I digress. So thank you so much for being here with us today. Hopefully you will share this video with somebody, because somebody somewhere needs to hear what was said today. And I know you are the person who can do that. So thank you so very much for being here with us. We want you to be sure and tune in tomorrow, and you will be glad you did, because the gathering of the griot is a whole lot more than that. It's a whole lot more than what you think it is. And whatever you do, do something special for yourself today, because there's only one you. And if you don't take care of you, you can't expect anybody else to. So do something special for yourself, like take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, and we'll do it all over again.
Yes.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
Beautiful morning, oh what a beautiful day. I got a wonderful feeling, there's a handsome man coming my way. Oh, there is a handsome man coming my way. Hi there, what's your name?
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Tony. And what I want you to do for me is, if you have Xfinity TV, tune in to the Higher Learning Network Tuesdays at 6 p.m., Wednesdays at 1 p.m., Xfinity TV channel 19. Peace out.
Welcome to Canaglobe, the first ever virtual dispensary offering a world-class collection of cannabis brands drop shipped to your front door. How does it work? Canaglobe took the same concept Amazon used to become the largest company in the world. But instead of shipping toilet paper, t-shirts, and tennis shoes, Canaglobe offers something a lot sexier. Yeah, cannabis. With over 100 premier products, from bakables like chocolate chip cookies, brownies, fried chicken batter, to cannabis mocktails like pina colada, margarita, old fashioned, to gummy rocks, sweet tarts, seltzers, king palms, pre-rolls, disposable vapes, carts, and did I mention THCA flower and magic mushrooms? Canaglobe is the first ever to drop ship flower to every state. We're also the first ever to offer magic mushrooms legally to every state. Well, except Louisiana. We're also the first ever where you get to be the brand. You heard it. Meet the requirements and get your own brand at the dispensary. Your brand, fully paid for by the company, and you earn on company-wide revenue. Your brand can be featured right alongside celebrities and mega influencers such as Dan Bilzerian with Ignite, Holly Barker with Happy Snacks, Scotty Huss with Biscotti, and so much more. Rolling Stone magazine said, if it seems like a new state is legalizing cannabis nearly every week, don't worry, you're not high. It is indeed happening at an unprecedented pace. CNBC calls it the new gold rush. Forbes says the market could grow by 700%. And the Wall Street Journal calls it a tremendous market. We're currently in 26 countries and growing. Industry icons are saying that Canaglobe is the most innovative, disruptive, and compelling business model this industry has ever seen. You're probably asking yourself, how is this legal? Here's how. All our products are compliant with the 2018 Farm Bill. So what's the opportunity for you? To become a virtual dispensary owner without all the hassles. No experience is required. No storefront, no inventory, no licensing, and best of all, no apologies. And is 100% legal. You can become a virtual dispensary owner. There are 3 ways you can take advantage of this opportunity. 1. You can become an affiliate by simply purchasing any product on AutoShip and get paid 20% on all your customers' purchases. 2. Or you can become a VDO for a one-time fee of $2.99 plus $25 per month. You receive a business sample kit. You can earn up to 85% in commissions, unlimited levels, and you get trained by a certified trainer. However, if you are serious about making money, we highly recommend you become a VDO Pro so that you can get paid to train VDOs whether on your team or not, and you will receive training from a certified trainer. What do? It's simple and fun. You acquire a handful of customers and teach others to do the same. Simply share your QR code or your link, and every time someone buys something, you get paid. You can also share sample products with your friends, or host a party and share all the favors. It doesn't take long before you can have all kinds of people doing the very same thing. Here's how it works. You can earn from $100 to $275 every time you personally enroll a qualified VDO, and $75 to $175 every time someone in your network does the same thing. You can also earn from 15 to 27% on all your personal customers and 3 to 12% to unlimited levels every time a customer makes a purchase anywhere in your network. While we do not make any income claims, this is an example of how the compensation plan structure works. An area VDO that enrolls 3 QVDOs and helps them each acquire a handful of customers and duplicate that 6 levels. The area VDO would approximately earn $100,000 plus $18,000 per month in residual income. But the comp plan doesn't stop at 6 levels. It pays to unlimited levels. While this is a financial opportunity, the real reward is we get to change the world by transforming lives with these sacred plants. We put smiles back on faces, happiness in hearts, laughter in lives, and health back in the home. Thank you for watching. Now, please get back with the person that shared this video with you and get started today.